matches on soon. Good evening, everybody, and thanks so much for coming along tonight. TED Talks are really important. I've watched them and paid attention to them for years because they give you a different perspective sometimes on things and we ask different questions. So, after about 3 decades of working with people, thousands of people in psychology, in training, and here for the last 24 years in transition year, fundamentally, at some point in your life, the question that comes up is, who are you? So if I asked you that question right now, who are you? You'd probably give me one of the generic answers. So you might say, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm a student, I'm an engineer, I'm Irish, I'm Indian. So you'll have pillars of identity that are really strong, and that's usually what we show to people and what we give to people. But fundamentally, we're much more complex than that. We have this huge amount of complexity that makes up who we are. Here's the fantastic thing about this. There is not one other person now on the planet like you. There will never be another person ever on the planet like you, nor has there ever been someone on the planet like you. And when you really get your head around that, it's pretty profound in that you have this chance to have this amazing life. But we're given a few gifts along the way. Sometimes they're not always gifts. So we have our value system to start off with. So that's sort of our hard drive. So your value system is really your baseline of where you make your decisions from. If you spend a bit of time and do some work on your value systems and really figure out what they are, there's 5 or 6 things that really you'll be passionate about in life. And for most of your life, bar say a trauma or something dramatic happening in your life, they don't really change. This is where you come from. When you have those, when you know what they are, it makes life much easier. You have a much better and stronger chance of being happy because all your choices and everything you do will work around them. So for example, your values might be integrity, it might be contribution, it might be spirituality, it might be tradition. So we have various different things. If you're a teacher, generally education is in there. You can usually tell if you look at some of the people that have been successful, we'll say in their own right, what their values are. So if you look at someone like Ronaldo had the football skills or whatever, but he also had this drive. So at any given time, we're either coming away from pain or towards pleasure. And he grew up in a very poor background. So he would wait as a child at the back of McDonald's as they closed to get the spare food that was left over because he was hungry. So he made up his mind at a very young age that part of his value system was going to be that he'd have money, that he'd be successful, and that he'd be seen is a really important part to him. Then you look at somebody like, say, Richard Branson. Absolutely loves fun, loves adventure. Would jump on a hot air balloon in a heartbeat, like, just loves it. But also, fundamentally, he'll say, oh, I'm not that bothered about money. But yet, over and over again, he makes money. He loses it, he makes it, he loses it, he makes it. He hasn't lost for a long time, he has a lot of money. I think I'll buy an island there or a jet there. And contribution is massive to him. He gives back all the time. So it's amazing. Another person contribution very strong with would be Oprah Winfrey. She loves fame. She absolutely loves the money. Anyone that has a gold toilet in their house definitely loves the money. But contribution is very important to her. Setting up schools in Africa and giving back is very important to her. So taking the time to have a look at your value systems is a really good thing. I had a guy who went on to play for the Dublin team in my class a few years ago, and we did the value system. Exercise. And he was at an event, and I was in the audience, and he said, oh, miss. I'm like, oh, God. So anyway, he said, wait till later, wait till later. So I met him afterwards and he came up to me and he had the little card from the class with the 6 values in his pocket. And he said, every time I want to make a decision about whether to sign a contract or whether to travel or whether to go a place, I will take this out and I will refer back to it. And he said, it's really, really helped him. So I think it's an amazing tool. And as a life coach and a trainer, it's one of the first things I would do with people when they walk in the door to me. The second thing is the beliefs. So let's say I took my glasses off and I handed them to any one of you in the audience and told you to put them on and see the world through my glasses. You probably trip over the first step because they're pretty strong. But the thing is, they're my filter. So where did that come from? We're genetically, we're born, we're given a certain amount of DNA. Can we change that? Some of it, most of it not. What else? So if we're lucky, we're born into a happy family or a nice family. They will contribute to what we should do and not do in the world. So don't go out there, do this, be in by that time, you eat this with this, and we will grow up with those beliefs. They might be spiritual, they might be coming from our friends. They predominantly would come initially from your parents, particularly from the age 1 to 7, and it's a very impressionable age. We can nearly decide how we're going to play the game in the world in those first 7 years. So I'll give you an example of this, but don't tell her. So my mum, Lord rest her, thoroughly believed that if you went out in the rain and got soaking wet, that you get pneumonia. And there was no grey area there, just going to get pneumonia and be really sick. I believed every word out of my mother's mouth, because why wouldn't I? She was really wise. She's my mother. Till I hit my 20s and I had a very romantic night out with a very romantic, good-looking chap in the rain. And I didn't care if I got the pneumonia. And when I woke up the next day, I was like, oh, no pneumonia. This is amazing. And then I thought, how crazy is this? That I'm actually waking up expecting to be sick. So we have to really be careful about those filters, and they're the ones that we can look at and we can change. So even in your head now, if I said to you, love is, money is, family is, relationships are, wealth is, you would have an answer to those. That's your programming. So sit down when you get a chance with a pen and paper and have a look at those and see how off the scale they are and how much in the based in reality they are. The younger generation are much better than this, than my generation were, because they do question things and they do say, oh, I don't believe you, or I'm not sure about that. And they will Google things and look things up and whatever, and I love that. Because we shouldn't just accept the things that we're told without questioning them or without, it's our life. This is the game plan for your life. So it's really, really important. And then setting goals from the clients that I've worked with over the years has fundamentally been the thing that changes lives the most. So you have a little thing in your brain called your reticular activating system. So did you ever decide, oh, I'd really like a red car? And then all of a sudden you see red cars everywhere. Or I'd really like to play tennis, and all of a sudden you see ads for tennis coaches. So that's your brain actively going out there and looking for ways to help you to achieve your goal. But also because now you're paying attention, you've just told your brain, I want to do this, so will you help me? So setting goals, that's what it does for you. It's going to help you find what it is you're looking for. And so what if you don't make it? So what if you set a goal and you don't get there? Because the journey is fantastic. The trying is fantastic. That's the living. That's the bit where you're going to feel alive. And if you don't get there, sometimes, and I can tell you categorically at my age, that most of the time, what comes along is much better. So on that journey, you will meet a person where you'll take another little direction, and all of a sudden,
life will be better. So I hope that gives you food for thought. I hope I haven't sent you to a therapist. At the very least, just start with a life coach. Thank you so much, guys.